Right. So Matt, first off, it's a massive game today against a very good side, but it's been a very busy few weeks of the club, with history making an FA Cup run sandwiched in the middle of what's been a very hectic league schedule as well. What's it been like for yourself and for the players as well to have played and succeeded against so many difficult sides in such a short space of time?
It's been really good. Obviously, as the season's kind of gone on, the fixture list is piling up a little bit. But it's good that we've got like a very different challenge every week. It's challenging for us and the coaching team to prepare it, because we go from like one extreme to the other kind of style of play sometimes. But it's also meant that as we've gone game by game, the girls are learning lessons every time, and obviously to today's game against Rutherford, kind of second versus third, it's a great chance for us to consolidate all that learning and try and put that onto a game against a very good Rutherford side. But obviously, never ever complain about going further in the FA Cup. Obviously, for the town, for the club in total, for the prize money that's involved, it's really raising the view of women's football in the area. And I hope to say we're really hopeful to get plenty in next Sunday, and challenge Warrington, because like I say, they'll be coming up here with the exact same feelings.
Obviously, I want to take you back to the very start of the FA Cup run, and the second qualifying round against a team from the same league with Birtley. Obviously, 2 goals in the opening few minutes sort of killed off the game as soon as it started. Could you have asked for a better performance? What was for many of the players their first ever FA Cup game?
Yeah, it was an unknown for a lot of us. It was especially the younger players. Some of the old ones have been in it before in previous iterations, previous clubs. But yeah, it just settled the nerves straight away. 2 quality goals. Obviously, Abby and Emma just combining again. And it just settled it down, and we could have scored more. The key lesson from that game was that even though we might kind of have large periods of play, the other team are always going to have opportunities as well. So the second half, we were back against the wall, digging in, fighting on the counter-attack a little bit, which isn't necessarily our style of play, but it just demonstrated that we can adapt when we need to. And that was exactly the same against Hull United, where it was again, same situation.
Yeah, and obviously it was almost the polar opposite to that. The side sort of had to dig deep for the whole game against a side 2 divisions above. Obviously a lot of uncertainty pre-match. And they did that whilst also showing a lot of qualities, as we saw from the goals. Do you think it was almost the perfect FA Cup tie?
Yeah, it was. As we were going down, obviously it was kind of one of them things where it was slowly becoming like, it would almost look like everything was against us a little bit. From the weather to the situation before the game, losing BE right before kick-off, and all that side of it, it was starting to look like it's going to be one of them days. But then, full credit to the girls, the character they showed in that game just lifted us. And like I say, we had to kind of not abandon our style of play, but adapt it against a very physical and a very good Hull United side. But it was the first test like that the girls have really had, and they pushed through it. And like I say, we prepare as much as we can, but as soon as that whistle goes, it's the 11 guys on the girls on the pitch and the girls on the bench who they've got to go and do it. And that day, like, every single person involved did their bit.
What was it like as a manager being stood in the touchline that day? It must have been obviously a bit nerve-wracking towards the end, for definite.
It was nerve-wracking from about the second minute. Yeah, we very quickly realised what they were about, their style of play, how they clearly kind of take the points in their league. So we had to quickly adapt the system we were playing to suit that. We made a couple of changes during the game tactically, which helped us get the goal and then just cement it further down as we went in. But again, I was saying to the coaching staff that as we went, it was a case of we trusted them. We knew that they would get the job done. They were battling for each other. It was the most perfect kind of all-round performance. Towards the end, yeah, it got nervy. Obviously, tempers flared a little bit on the pitch, and that was unusual because it's not something that we're used to, like up here too much. But again, they just dealt with it. And yeah, from a coach's point of view, it was the nervous last 15-20 minutes, but then the best feeling ever when they won it. Like, I think you can see from the highlights and things, the emotion, the players, the outpouring for it. You can see what it means to them to play for the club.
Obviously, looking ahead now to next week, a massive opportunity against Warrington Wolves, a position where neither side really knows too much about each other. Were you happy with the draw, particularly to get a home side against a side only a league above, and just how much of an opportunity does that present?
The key thing we wanted was a home tie. That was the thing, and we knew there was a 50-50 chance. Once we got that, we were happy with whoever. Obviously, we had a little bit of uncertainty whether it was going to be Warrington or Farsley Celtic. But we would accept anyone up here, because, like I say, it's an occasion, it's a chance for us to kind of put on the showcase of what we're all about. Obviously, we've got amazing facilities up here. We've got amazing fans who week in, week out follow us. We took kind of 15-20 to Hull. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but in that conditions, in the kind of wet and wild, they made themselves heard. but then up here we can get kind of into the hundreds. So it's a chance to showcase that and put ourselves on the kind of highest pedestal possible.
Yeah, and obviously no senior concert side of the men's or women's have ever gone beyond the first round of an FA Cup. You're also the lowest ranked side left in the competition. How much motivation does that provide to go out and make what will be a sizable bit of history next weekend?
Huge. Yeah, it's one of them things where as a coach, and the coaching staff are all the same, and the players are the same, it's just pride. We've got this far, and every single player involved now is a history maker, and that'll be the key message that next week of whatever happens, win, lose or draw, they've made history, they've been there, they've done it. But we're not content, we're not happy just to be like, right, we've got here now, that's brilliant. We want to go as far as we can, and we've got a great opportunity on Sunday. Obviously Warrington and Wolves are quality sides, some good results, massive game they had against Farsley Celtic, scoring 7 goals for that. But we take it as a game. Yeah, they've got a long journey up here. Obviously the climate up here will be slightly different to what maybe they used to. But we can just go and do our thing. But like I say, we're not just content to be here.
And finally, obviously the football club represents what would be a sizable amount of people across the region. What would it mean to take this club, I know you've referenced it previously, but what would it mean to take this club even deeper into the FA Cup, as also the amount of national interest would start to increase the further you go on?
It would be huge, because I've been involved in this league for kind of 6 or 7 years now, and the common theme when talking to other coaches, talking to referees, talking to other players, is that the quality in this league is growing and growing and growing, and you can see that from the amount of teams that were in the last round. If you come and watch our games, and you can see the levels that we're playing at now, the stigma and the kind of the misrepresentation of women's football is evaporating very quickly, and to be able to represent kind of our level of football is huge, but also to represent the town, because like I say, Concert AFC is a huge part of the town. It always has been, from the Vars exploits down at Wembley, to kind of getting regularly the highest attendance when it was in Northern League, to then carry that into Northern Prem. And we're doing that now as well. We're kind of getting attendances where in the Northern League the big clubs will be happy with it. So it's a burden representing, but we're more than happy to carry it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.